I'm Stacey J.
And I'm Chuck Duran.
Welcome to VO Buzz Weekly, the first web entertainment show dedicated to the voiceover business.
That's right. And every week we will be right here bringing you the latest 411 on everything voiceover.
We get up close and personal with celebrity voice actors, top talent agents, studio tech experts, marketing people, casting people. They're all coming here and we're going to talk to them.
Absolutely. And today we have part 2 of the Nancy Cartwright interview. Bart Simpson. Let's just go there now.
Absolutely. One thing that I think is amazing is your whole philosophy about giving back. And you've been involved in so many different organizations, and one of which you co-founded, which is Happy House.
Yeah.
How did that come about, and how can people get involved?
Well, Happy House is a nonprofit, and our motto is building better families. And I have a whole curriculum. We go to after-school programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and youth centers, scout troops, church groups. And, well, the whole purpose behind it is that it just seems like kids today, the way families are set up, there's no guide, there's no moral compass anymore to help kids out. And simple things like set a good example, be worthy of trust, love and help your parents, you help people of goodwill, just common sense morals,
Yeah.
Right.
And so we have a whole curriculum that helps these kids, and they write essays, they can do skits. There's little videos that go with the program that demonstrate these things, and I've got chapters throughout California, and they're doing really, really good. And mostly they're targeted for kids that at risk is kind of, it's almost like today, every kid seems to be at risk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It doesn't mean the
exactly.
same thing that it used to.
Yeah, but a lot of these kids, if they get in a gang, the chances of getting them out of the gang is like zero.
Right.
So that's where my attention goes, is to these kids. Their literacy level is pretty low. And they feel like it's like they need a family, so it helps to establish kind of a group.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like there's a whole layer of accountability because teachers are involved, parents, caregivers, so it's not just the kid trying to do the right thing by themselves. There's a whole community of support around it.
Yeah. It's a great feeling, and I've seen so many changes with these kids that make such a difference, that they have a place to go where there's agreement about what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
Exactly.
But they go out there and it's such a mess, and it's kind of funny coming from someone who does the voice of a 10-year-old underachiever and proud of it.
Right.
But I'm a mom, and I
Yeah.
raised my kids, and my kids are doing great, and I want all the kids to do great. And at this time, I've got the Simpsons, the amount of time that it takes to do that job is limited. It just in terms of the production, my contribution to it is very small in the whole organizational, how it's all laid out.
Right.
So I have all this free time to be able to do this other stuff, and it makes me feel great to be able to give back that way, because the kids so need it and so appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Have any of your kids ever, those little show and tell things that you do in school? Have any of your kids ever brought you to school as a show and tell?
Yeah,
Because I would be a great show and tell too.
Again, Chuck.
I mean,
it didn't happen when they were in. It did not happen. I was not their show and tell item or doll or whatever when they were in kindergarten. But I did go to career day. I've done lots of career days for the kids, and that's way fun.
Okay.
To bring the kids up on stage and have them do some voices and do a casting session and have fun with the kids.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yes, no doubt about it. I was the most popular mom at school.
That's where I was getting to.
Yeah, Chuck, you're so right.
Thank you. So I just made that up. That was a question that just came off the top of my head because I really wanted to know. But my actual question is, you wrote a book, My Life as a 10-Year-Old Boy.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for that? I mean, what was going in your mind when you said, I have to write this thing? Or how did that come about?
It was just that at a certain point in time, because I would get people asking me questions, and it was always the same. People wanted to know. They wanted to have more information. And I just felt like the timing was right. I did that in 2000. It came out in 2000. And I did it all by myself. I just went up into my office and just started writing. And I had no problem writing the chapters, because I just wrote what I knew.
Right.
And the things that I didn't know, like I would go in and interview. I went in and talked to Alf Kloss, and I talked to the music guys. I talked to the animators because I really wanted to make sure, because I knew it was going to be documented and I really wanted it to be the truth. So I wanted to get it right.
Right.
And then you converted it to a one-woman show. What was
Yeah,
that?
that just sort of evolved out of it, because before the one-woman show, I was invited to promote the book, and that turned into kind of no, I guess the one-woman show came next. The one-woman show came next, and then that just turned into lectures, and then I was invited to be keynote speakers and speak at graduations, and I just everything just sort of got condensed. But I needed to get the rights. When I did it as a one-woman show, I had to go through Fox, and the other actors signed release forms for me so I could show clips. And it was really fun, but it was a real challenge.
A lot of work.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I opened at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in 2004
Wow, yeah.
and ran, I think we did a whole month of August, 650 people, and it was a packed, sold-out show every night. It was really, really fun, and living out of a suitcase and just kind of like getting up there, and it was a bit of a novelty though, because it was, and I think that's probably why it did so well. It was a bit of a novelty.
Do you feel that there are equal opportunities for women in the voiceover world? I mean, there's been a lot of changes in the business, but just, I mean, how do you, is there equality? It's very male dominant.
You know what? I sort of feel like I'm not the right person to ask that anymore. I feel a little bit out where I'm, because I don't. Here's where I'm at. I could keep auditioning if I really, really wanted to, but I sort of feel like it doesn't quite do it for me. There are people that they should have those jobs. They are where I was 30 years ago, so I don't want to audition anymore. So at this point, I'm really more into producing.
Right.
And developing my own stuff and collaborating and creating my own things. And we did the Kellys.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I lived in North Carolina for a couple of years, a huge NASCAR country.
Yeah.
And so I loved it. Did you ever get your racing license, or did you did?
Get out of here.
Yeah, 158.2. Hello, high five. Bye, baby. That's my
insane,
top
Did you hear that,
man.
Ken? Did you hear that, Ken? Okay.
Woo!
Tear it up.
That's
Oh yes,
exciting.
3 wide. Had to do 3 wide drafting.
What does that feel like?
It's exhilarating.
Wow.
But you have to dig it though. Some people,
Yeah.
I took my riders, when we were doing the Kellys, we all went out there and got lessons and got to do that. And then after that I decided I'm getting my driver's license. This
Yeah.
is like way, way cool. But you have to love it, because if you don't, that's not a sport that you want to be messing around
Well, I
with.
can imagine you can't be fearful. I mean, you have to be really comfortable because you can't be going 58 miles an hour.
Yeah, and you're
Hello.
strapped in there. I mean, your head, there's no rear view mirrors. You look right straight ahead, and your head is actually attached by a cord. You can only move it about 2 inches. They don't want you doing this.
Yeah.
You need to be focusing on the car right in front of you, and you need to be like kissing that guy's Heineken. You need to just keep on going.
Like what they do on the 405, except, it's like, hello, do you want to see my pores? They get so close on the 405. Drives me crazy, but it's not about me. Anyway, back to Nancy. So you've talked about Daws Butler.
Yeah.
And the influence he had on your career. Do you still feel his influence?
Well, I can never forget what he did for me at the very, very beginning. I mean, this is a guy we had corresponded for about 1.5 years, and he never said anything that made me feel like I couldn't do anything. He was really positive and just always made me feel like I could, I could do anything, and made me feel great about myself. So that kind of encouragement, whether it's from a mentor or a best friend or a spouse, is the kind of thing that we should all have.
Yeah.
Because we can do anything. But these obstacles kind of get in the way, But Daws was like, he had such an impact on me. He did not teach me how to do voices, though. I don't want to paint a picture that wasn't really real. I mean, there are guys out there that you could absolutely teach you how to develop characters, but what Daws taught me was for myself how to take somebody's, the black on white and make it my own. The character voices, I don't know how I did that. I just, channeled. I just kind of created out of nothing, these sounds. And somehow I just made a niche for myself by doing boy voices. And there's a certain quality, even as a kid, that I had that was sort of androgynous. So as a 7-year-old, people couldn't even identify if I was a boy or a girl because of the sound of my voice. But I began to play with that and twist my voice and contract my vocal cords to make them pinched and change it to make people laugh.
Well, because your Rufus voice, your Chucky voice, I mean, those are intense voices. How do you, I mean, are
and
those...
Nelson's a throat ripper, and Kearney, they're all, So if I'm going to be doing a script that is heavy Nelson, or doing a game is a better example. If I'm doing some sort of a video game, we save Nelson till the end because I know if I do him, I won't be coming back.
Right.
My throat will be sore and it'll take a day or so to kind of get, and it comes back really quick for me. It just comes back really quick.
Exactly. Have you ever thought, this is like, because I think like this, right? So have you ever thought like, well, if I wasn't Bart Simpson, what else would I would want to do with my life? Like an alternate career that has nothing to do with maybe the entertainment business. Ever thought of it?
Yeah, it probably would be like nonprofit, some kind of volunteerism. Right. Because the joy that I get from that, I can't even describe it, that I can change somebody's life.
Yeah.
I can give them some hope that they can actually be somebody someday. That is, you can't beat that.
So what's the best way people can keep up with you?
Probably just my website.
Yeah?
Just nancycartwright.com.
Okay, great.
I had to buy that from another Nancy Cartwright.
You did?
I did.
Did she charge you top dollar?
No,
did you have to
it was
wrestle
awesome.
her for it?
No, it was amazing because this was it was like the early 90s, I guess, when they were really the yourname.com. You could go onto yourname.com and see if somebody had your name. Not only did it have that somebody else had it that had your name, but it had their address and it had their phone number. So I called her up. In the phone, and some guy answered the phone. I said, "Hello?" He goes, "Hello." I said, is this the Cartwright residence?" "Yes, it is. Can I help you?" I'm like, "Oh my God. Can I speak to Nancy?" "Just a minute." "Nancy, telephone."
"Well, I'll be right there."
Yeah, exactly. "Hello?" "Hi. This is Nancy Cartwright?" She goes, "Yes." I said, "Oh, who's this?" I said, "This is Nancy Cartwright." Total silence. She goes, "You mean the Nancy Cartwright?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "No way." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I do Bart Simpson." She goes, "Oh my God."
Oh my gosh.
So we just started talking. I'll tell you the weirdest thing though. Her assistant's name was Barbara. My assistant at the time, Barbara. Her son, Jack. My son, Jack. Her daughter was Liza. My daughter, Lucy. She was in PR and marketing, and I'm PR and marketing. As
Basically,
actors,
yes.
that's what we do right here.
Right.
On VO Buzz, man, PR and marketing. We actually hit it off, and I talked to her. I said, I just laid out the rules. I said, "Look, here's the deal. How do you get email? Do you get letters for Bart Simpson? Do people?" She goes, "Oh yeah." I'm thinking, "You do? That's a federal like."
Are you posing
right?
as
It's
me?
like
The phone call took a different turn.
Yeah. Well, I just said, "Look, are you going to post anything?" Because she wasn't using the site. And we just kind of worked out an arrangement, and I gave her a bunch of Simpsons stuff in the mail and sent her T-shirts and all kinds of stuff for her kids in a animation cell. Paid for her use, what she paid for the website that she hadn't used yet, and she was awesome. She was awesome. Then I went and visited her, and we got her picture taken, and it was very amicable.
Well, and now she's got a great story.
Yeah, like me.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Well, Nancy, I want to thank you for being on VO Buzz Weekly. It's been so nice to have you. You're freaking awesome. We love her.
We do.
And I love you. Thank you. And thank you for tuning in to Voiceover Buzz with the Chuck, Stacy, and Nancy Show. Woo!
Well, that's all the time we have today, folks, but be sure and join us next week for an amazing episode of VO Buzz Weekly.
And go to vobuzzweekly.com to subscribe, to send us your questions and comments, to shop and donate and have a lot of fun looking at the pictures on the episodes. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at VO Buzz Weekly. Well, take care, everybody, and just remember, you always have time for a little buzz.